If everybody would stand, please, we'll say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Chan, would you like to say a prayer for us?
Sure. Lord, we're grateful today for the many blessings you've given us. We ask that you continue to guide and direct and give us wisdom. And we ask, Lord, for healing for those that are suffering. And, Lord, for comfort as we move forward. In Christ's name, amen.
Thank you. Okay, it's a couple minutes past 5:30, and we'll call the City Plan Commission to order. Roll call, please.
Greg Patchett,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Here.
Isaac Chavez,
Here.
Kevin Catron,
Here.
Norm Gross, Owen Matz,
Present.
and Richard Greeno.
Here. Okay. This is a new way to do a meeting. So, you got me? Okay. What is your pleasure with the minutes? Members, I'm talking to you. What is your pleasure with the minutes?
This is Megan. I move we accept the minutes as presented.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yes, second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Isaac.
I'm sorry.
Yes. I Chavez is second
Isaac.
that motion.
Okay, thank you, Isaac.
Okay, roll call.
Greg Patchett,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez,
Aye.
Kevin Catron,
Aye.
Norm Gross,
Aye.
Owen Matz,
Say again.
Owen Matz,
Aye.
President Greeno.
Aye. Okay. And this will pass. Okay, our next order of business is a South Ridge subdivision, phase 2, and the provisional and the record plat. I'm going to ask for a motion to either do them separate or do both of them together. Do I hear a motion?
Can I ask Richard to put his mic in front of his mouth, please?
We can't hear you. They need your microphone in front of your face.
You can't hear me?
I second that.
Amen.
You hear me now?
Yeah, a little better.
Okay.
Still,
I'll be eating the mic if I get it any closer. I said, how about a motion to do both of these at the same time or separate? I don't care which way.
I'm very sorry that the sound is enough to be able to ascertain what's being said.
Yeah.
Try that microphone, Richard. Lean into that one.
Okay,
Scooch toward, yeah.
okay. Can you hear me now?
a little better.
Okay. Again, can I have a motion to do the phase 2 and the provisional and record plat together, or do you want to do them separate?
He's looking for a motion to either do the record plat or the provisional plat by itself, or do the provisional and record plat together.
Can I make a motion to do them together? Is that possible? Or they have to be separate? Is that what's being asked?
You can do it either way.
Okay. Motion that we put them both together.
What's Isaac?
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second from Kevin.
Okay,
Who was the first?
I think with the
To do both the provisional and the record plat?
yes, together.
Annie, I'm not hearing anything.
You can't hear anything, Kevin?
It's all, ran together.
Okay, give me just a
And
second.
everybody else is finding out what's happening in there.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not hearing them either. I can hear everybody else, not Richard or Susan.
Right, I can hear Andy really clear and precise, but I can't hear Susan and Richard at all.
I'm gonna take a roll call. Isaac made a motion to hear the provisional and the record plat together. So now I'm gonna, and Kevin Catron seconded, so I'm gonna do roll call. Greg Patchett,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
I'm sorry,
There's a motion to approve, or to, listen to the provisional and the record plat together.
okay. I for together?
correct.
Isaac
And I'm still
Chavez,
in, this is Norman. I don't understand what you're putting together.
Phase 1 and 2 of South Ridge.
Phase 1 and 2, putting the two together.
Yes, we're putting them together instead of separate.
Okay. Now I got it.
We're going to do roll call.
Kevin Catron,
Aye.
Norm Gross,
Aye.
Owen Matts,
Aye.
President Greeno.
Aye. Now, can you hear me better with this mic?
Say it again.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay,
A little better.
Annie, you may have to reword for me.
That's fine.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Has all the mailing's been sent out?
Yes, the notifications went to each property owner within 100 feet of the property and also ran in the Frankfurt Times on April the 14th, 2020.
Okay. Since this is a public hearing, do I hear anybody from the audience that would like to speak to this?
Go ahead.
Use that microphone over there.
Right over to this podium and use that mic there, Shannon, if you will, please.
Shan Sheridan, Clip County Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development. Appreciate being here this evening. We are part,
Lean into it.
also the Clinton County Economic Advancement Foundation. So that's who Stan Smith and I are here this evening to speak in favor of this project. This project, as many know, this land was donated to the Clinton County Economic Advancement Foundation to make sure that phase 2 was completed from phase 1 regarding Southridge. And so the opportunity, actually it's been probably 2 years now, Stan, that we have worked with multiple folks in different developers looking at this after at least one feasibility study, and again, multiple other developers giving us insight on this phase 2. We decided to work with F&K Construction, the Coons family, and we have been very impressed with the Coons family and how they have handled the development thus far. We had a lot of back and forth, a lot of discussion, a lot of dialogue that took place to get us to this point. And we believe that they've done an outstanding job. We think that the product that they're putting together is going to be something that our community is going to be very proud of. And we are extremely excited from an economic development standpoint that we're going to be adding at least 30 new homes into our community. The real estate market is extremely short right now, and we need these new homes, and we're excited about that opportunity. So be glad to answer any questions, but that's what we would like to share tonight from the Clinton County Economic Advancement Foundation.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak to this?
I got a question about it. Can I ask that?
It's not the microphone.
I need your name, sir.
Tony Snyder.
Okay.
My question is to you, I guess.
Where do you live, Tony?
I live on South Broadmoor Court.
Okay.
So my question is, what is the price range of these houses that are going to be built?
Well, that's really at this juncture, they've got a couple of builders lined up, but it's not going to be necessarily classified by one, or going to be specifically one builder. So, but the price range that we were told was going to be in that $170,000 to $200,000 range.
And will they have to have brick? Will they have
Yes.
bullet
Yeah, all of those, the same thing that had in the covenant, in the
in
first
the original
covenant. Yes, sir.
Equal to or better.
Equal to or better.
Can I repeat that?
Sam, I need you to
I'm
be
sorry.
on the mic.
Mr. Snyder asked what the homes were going to be built like and if they'd be held to a standard.
And the standard will be equal to or better, Tony, than what the covenant was originally. Yeah.
And my other concern is the drainage pond behind it. I feel as a citizen, a resident of Frankfurt, I pay sewer maintenance already. I pay for the man ditch assessment already. Now you're wanting to give me the responsibility to maintain a pond so that you can build a new housing addition behind me.
Well, actually, if we're going to go equal to or greater, as the covenant was stated in the original covenant, that covenant actually had a homeowners association attached to that already. So actually, that's never been enforced, but there is a covenant that says that those residents are to maintain the maintenance of that property. And so what's going to happen is that now we're going to see the 30 additional homes that are going to add value to your property. And yes, there's going to be a request, but we're talking 60 homes divided by what we saw the other day, about $1,500 a year.
Yes.
So we're talking less than $25 a year to make sure that look, I don't think you or anybody else wants to see a situation where we're relying on just someone to come mow the yard every once in a while. We would like to see structure of that maintenance of that detention. I understand you pay a ditch fee, but that doesn't necessarily make
Should I
sure,
pay a sewer fee?
and a sewer fee, but that's a little separate than maintaining the grasses and maintaining.
I've lived there for
Yeah.
20 years.
Sure.
No one has ever touched it in 20 years.
Well, I know Stan Smith
Gary
himself.
Crum would argue that.
Just because he wanted this development to happen. My next question then would be, the people on Kelly Road, their water runs to my yard, which then runs to that. So where do you stop assessing people for using that ditch?
Well, that's more of a drainage question. Yes, sir. You're their engineer, so, right?
Okay. Did the engineer?
I thought the engineer was here.
Kyle, if you have a minute, you can join us on this.
Yes,
Tim or Kyle?
yes, I'm here.
There we go. Got Kyle on here. What's your question?
Can
Well,
everybody
the
hear me?
question, Tony's asking Kyle the question about drainage coming off of Kelly Road. How is that going to impact phase one? Is there going to be a negative impact on that with this new development?
So the drainage for I just want to reiterate, because it is kind of hard to hear here. The question is, how does the drainage for the home sites that are along Kelly Road impact this development?
Yes,
That's the question.
and phase one too.
Do they have to pay for the maintenance? Because their
No.
water also runs to that ditch.
And that's,
Does,
they're not part of a covenant, Tony, so that,
the
this.
covenants was null and void when 90% of the homes were sold in that subdivision. And then it was due to the homeowners to come up with a homeowners association.
I'm not gonna argue that it's not been enforced and it should have been enforced, but what we're saying is for the betterment of both phase one and phase two moving forward, it is much better scenario.
32.
Yeah, it's much better scenario for number 32. I'll just read from the covenant. Annie is making me keep the mic. These covenants are to run with the land and shall be binding on all owners and all persons claiming under them for a period of 20 years from the date these covenants are recorded, after which time said covenants shall be automatically extended for successive periods of 10 years each. So there's an automatic renewal on this, again, because we don't want you to be in a situation that you're gonna have to come back and deal with drainage issues or deal with lack of maintenance. We want you to have a nice place, you want a nice place, and we believe that this is the way to protect the existing owners in phase one and get a great product that's only gonna add value to your property. You can't argue that this is not gonna add value to your property.
It could hurt it.
Oh,
I look out at an empty field, I'm gonna look out now at you and me.
Yeah, but I'm going to share with you, I can take you to real estate experts and show you that this is going to absolutely help you with your property values.
So my next question would be on Wilshire, they built all those retention ponds behind there. Do those people pay to maintain them?
I don't.
I think it's the county's responsibility. I do not think it is a homeowner's responsibility. I already pay ditch fee. I already pay sewer maintenance. Why am I being charged 3 times to get rid of my water when I live in the city limits of Frankfort, Indiana? I think that is unfair.
First, Tony, I think when you keep saying
that, Don.
when you keep saying that you're
This is
charging,
non-stock talking.
you're charging 3 times, you only if you're doing any charging, you're getting charged twice. You're talking about stormwater permits, that's what that detention pond is. Paying your sewer bill has nothing to do with the water on the streets or in your property. So everybody pays, that I know of in town, pays a stormwater fee and we all pay sewer fees. So unfortunately, I guess you say unfortunately, but to make sure that the drainage in that area gets done properly and it doesn't fill up man's ditch to where now it rolls into everybody's property, that's why you have this detention pond that'll be taken care of.
Which that is the ditch fee is separate from all that.
Yeah.
So.
But most people in Frankfort don't have to pay to dump in Prairie Creek.
Yeah.
I have to pay to dump into.
Everybody that I know pays.
So Stan's house runs to Man's Ditch.
And I pay.
So if it floods, it could be because of his house. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean.
But what I'm saying is that everybody's paying the ditch fee.
And now you're wanting me to pay a third fee.
Well, no, everybody's paying.
Everybody pays a sewer fee,
Everybody's.
a wastewater fee,
And a stormwater fee.
stormwater fee, I'm paying.
Right,
I'm paying for Man Ditch.
yeah,
Now I'm gonna pay for a retention
because
pond.
you're going to be in a homeowners association.
No, you cannot make us be in a
Well,
homeowners
you are,
association.
you already are.
I'm not.
Sir, you
It's a
are.
covenant. It is not a homeowners
It is
association.
a covenant as an association of that neighborhood. It's not in a covenant with me. It's not a covenant with him. He lives on Williams Road. It's a covenant with the folks that are in that neighborhood. It's a homeowners association covenant. So when you bought your house, you became part
I
of
had
it.
to follow the rules
You
to
became
build my
part-
house.
You became a part of that, just like all of these people will do in phase two to equal or greater than. So that's all this is. I mean, I would thought that you would be excited about this.
So someone else can tell me how to live in my house?
Well, no, I mean, I live under a homeowners association that we pay $550 a year, but they also take care of all of the commons areas and everything else. Do I like writing that $550 check a year? It doesn't make me happy, but you know what? When I see flowers being planted and people mowing areas and things taken care of that I don't have to worry about, then it goes, okay, that's where my dollars are going. So I think it just depends on where you want to live. And I think phase one and phase two, I totally agree with you. It should have been enforced from day one. That didn't happen. But now we've got a phase two and a great developer coming in here to add assess value to our community. And I think it should be something that we should be welcoming.
If it was not enforced for the last 20 years, who deemed you two that now you're the enforcers?
Well, I'm not the enforcer.
So who is?
Well, it's the folks that developed the property at from the beginning in phase one, Southridge property, who created this covenant that you should have had a copy of this.
I do.
So this is that group of folks created that Southridge district, which by the way, had a phase two. Also, Meadowbrook is the same situation. It has a phase two attached to it, correct? Both Southridge.
But they look nothing alike.
Well, I understand they're not designed to look alike. They're designed to be completely.
No, but they changed it since the original phase two was put in there.
Well, phase two's not been put in either one.
The original plot showed two cul-de-sacs, not a circle.
You mean on this new phase?
No, 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Well, but there's a different developer in town too. So I mean, it's a different group of people. So they have the right, as long as they meet the standards of the state and meet the standards of local government, then they have the right to change that. And that's one of the reasons that we're here tonight for a provisional plat hearing, to make sure that, and to hear comments. And we absolutely respect your comments. I totally get it. You live there. I totally get that. And I certainly appreciate it. But what we're saying is that we support good economic development when it comes to real estate, because that is a driver of economic development. And we think it's a great opportunity, because that phase two has been on the books for how long, Stan?
1994, probably.
That was when phase one was put in. I mean, phase two was put, I think they actually were accepted both the same night. So it's been on the books for a long time. I think eventually we knew it was coming. We just want to make sure that we're doing it. We just didn't want to throw, I applaud Stan and Clinton County Economic Advancement Foundation for digging deeper. This thing could have easily been given to somebody and it just be thrown together. F&K Construction, these folks have done an incredible job of going through all the due diligence, because I'm telling you, the margin is extremely short on this. I cannot tell you how much that has impacted the situation.
My goes back to my original thing though, the watershed problem that goes into the retention pond, that the property to the east or to the west of that, his property sheds to that retention. So does he pay? The houses on Kelly Road shed down the hill to that pond. I guess I'm confused as to why you're gonna make 62 houses foot the bill when there's other properties that their watershed is going to that same retention.
And I can't speak to that because I'm not in government, but I will tell you this, that the airport pays a stormwater fee that doesn't, their water goes into no ditch, but they pay a stormwater fee of up to a pretty good chunk of change every year, the airport, right? I'm talking about, so what, I'm not saying that things are always fair, but what we're saying in phase one and phase two, we're trying to make sure that you are protected as an existing homeowner, that the people that will be eventually moving or building and moving there will be protected. And we know that this will, if there is someone that's going to be held responsible to take care, and all we're saying is it's going to be somewhere around, $1,200 to $1,500 a year to do maintenance. You divide that by 62 people, Tony, that's like $10 a year.
It's 25, which the money's not the issue.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's not my responsibility to maintain that. The county, I believe, told you it's not their responsibility to maintain that. And they told you, your developing companies, fix the problem or you can't build. Well, now your solution to fix the problem is to make 33 people who have lived in a subdivision for 20 years to start paying to fix your problem. That's not fair to me.
And I'm saying for 20 years, those people have not paid a dime.
I know we have. We pay man ditch fees and I pay wastewater disposal
But those
fees.
man ditch fees are not designed to maintain your drainage for your property.
It goes to a sewer,
It goes to that ditch.
just like every other house in Frankfort, Indiana.
Right.
And I pay that fee.
Yeah.
Now you're nailing me again. It's not right. You didn't do it to the people on Wilshire. They built $1 million retention ponds to fix their problem and get rid of their water. They ain't paying for it. Why? What makes me any different than everybody else in Frankfort? That's what I want to know. That's my
And
problem.
I'm saying you're in a covenant. You're in a homeowners association covenant. That's all I can tell you. That's it.
I said what
I know, and that's what I'm just saying. That's what this is.
I think the council ought to think twice about this, because you have to stop thinking you're a property owner. I just give you 2 points where I've already paid it twice. Now they're gonna make us pay 3 times.
Okay, thank you, sir. Annie? Okay, anybody else have something they would like to say? Yes, sir. Would you come forward, give your name and your address, please?
Richard Leland, 1636 Broadmoor Court. I bought my house in 2011. I wasn't told about a covenant. I didn't know anything about any kind of HOA. Would have been a big deal. I don't think any of the properties, anything that's done around there is maintained pretty much by that gentleman you were speaking to and his son. Take care of the sign out front and everything, and the rest of us just take care of the property. So I don't think we need an HOA or covenant. My other question is, you got one road in and you're putting 30 more houses in a loop there, and you got one road that comes out. We've already got traffic problems when you come into Southridge, coming around that first curve, and there are cars on both sides of the road. There's been a few times where I've almost been run over. You're gonna have to do something. I don't know how you're gonna add 30 more homes and that many more cars coming in and out of that little area. That road isn't wide enough. It's a blind corner right there where they built that other house. It's a big problem. One of my major concerns. My only other concern is, we talked about drainage, right? So behind my house would be lot 3. If you're looking, it's right behind me. Okay, that's where I live. And I just spent probably tens and tens of thousands of dollars, redid my whole backyard, my house and everything. And I leveled out that backyard so there was no more flooding. If you guys are gonna build there, I wanna make sure that none of that water runs off and floods into my backyard at all. I spend way too much money and time on that. So that's my other concern, is to make sure when it's built there that it's leveled out properly and I don't have somebody else, some other rainwater coming up into my backyard. But I really think we need to think about another way in or another way out or something, because that single road coming in there with all 30 more houses, that's a big deal. That's a big problem. And I'm afraid somebody's gonna head up into somebody, so thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else like to speak to this? Okay, and hearing nobody, we close the hearing to the public. Discussions with the plan commission. Are they here?
This is Megan.
This is Megan.
This is Megan. Yes. Is there someone there that can address the concerns of the second gentleman? Is there someone there, the developers, that can address the concerns of the second gentleman with the drainage and the ingress and egress along the street?
This is Greg. On line item number 22 in our pamphlet, it talks about the minimum grade level and that, how it's gonna have to be certified by a licensed professional engineer and licensed land surveyor.
Okay, anybody else with any other questions?
This is Kyle Betts with Mr. Engineering.
This is Kyle.
I couldn't really hear the question that was asked by the second gentleman. So if you would reiterate what he said, I would try to respond to that.
The gentleman was speaking about his lot, which is behind, what number, sir?
Lot 3.
Behind lot 3. He just spent a good deal of money leveling that backyard area so that there wouldn't be any flooding or drainage issues. His concern is when they build, making sure that the lot that is directly behind him does not drain into his yard that he just fixed.
Okay, so, the guy is still there? Okay.
Yes.
The grading plan has been designed so that all of the runoff water that is associated with phase 2 stays on phase 2. It's not going to be going on to any of the lots from phase 1. It goes down either backyard swales or through pipe network or down the road, and all ends up getting directed into the pond.
Thank you, Kyle.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, hearing no others, we'll close discussion and do I hear a motion?
Motion for what?
Do I hear a motion?
Richard's looking for a motion.
Say that again, hello?
Mr. Greeno has asked for a motion to close the public portion of this.
No, I don't need that. No, I'm looking for a motion to pass.
I motion to close
Okay,
public discussion.
just a second. Do we have a motion already to pass it, or no?
I'll second.
Do we already have a motion and a second to approve the first and second, or are we looking for now for a motion to approve it?
I'm looking for, no, I didn't hear good. I'm looking for a motion.
Are we looking for a motion to approve phase 2?
Can I have a motion and a second?
They want to clarify what the
Yes,
motion's for.
motion.
Okay, I got a motion and a second.
We have a motion from Isaac and a second from
Greg.
Greg.
Okay. And this is to pass.
What's the motion for?
Give me the motion again.
Isaac, to confirm, is this a motion to pass?
Okay,
Yes, motion to pass phase 2.
okay. And, okay. That is, for the provisional and the record plat both. Is that correct, Isaac?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Greg Patchett,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Isaac Chavez,
Aye.
Kevin Catron,
Aye.
Norm Gross,
Aye.
Owen Matts,
Aye.
President Greeno.
Aye. The motion has passed for both of them. So you're in business. Okay. Hearing nothing more on the agenda, make a motion for adjournment.
Yes, motion. I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Isaac.
Norm seconded.
Norm seconded.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
I've ever seen in my life. Wow.
Wow, that's a different meeting.
Yeah,